Transformation in 3, 2, 1.
Hey everybody, Heather Stargazer here to do reading for the collective for whoever, whenever, wherever. Welcome back in, gazers. Lovely to see you. If you're new here, welcome in, welcome in. I have the Wild Harmonic Oracle here, and this is a really interesting deck. So what I've been doing is pulling, so they have a question. I'll leave this part out. They have a question. What I've been doing, practicing with them, because they're newer to me, is I'm going to be pulling a few of them out, and they have a question, and then we will clarify those questions. I have the Psychic Tarot and the Golden Tarot and the Tea Leaf cards out. So let's just take a deep breath. Ooh, already started. Very interesting. The ones that came out too. Transceptive Resonance, Water of Water. Look at that. This feels like a connectedness. This is almost like being able to hear someone else's thoughts from far away, or maybe their feelings, and be careful with that one, right? We don't want to project feeling like that intimate connection with someone. It doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. It's a spiritual connection, right? See how their third eye is touching. We have the Vesca Pisces connecting them, and their hands are touching. And so it's more than a heart connection. That kitten is up on the counter. It's a spiritually based connection. And then we have victorious silence. So that is also quite beautiful. We're going to get two more. Feeling that space within and not feeling the need to shout about it. Remember, we talked about sharing things yesterday, but not bragging, right? And not sharing our victories. Interesting here. Ooh, deeper self. Look at that. Look at that. And, just to show you, shared breath. Look at that. Shared breath as we're talking about this. And two came out there. So the two that came out are, empowered discernment. Absolutely, absolutely. An unfolding path. Wow, three came out. So Spirit is telling us a story here. Unfolding path. And bleeding together. And that's very interesting because it's kind of got that feeling of discerning in the deeper self whether or not we are investigating maybe relationships or drawn to certain types of maybe topics, activities, things within ourself that maybe are trauma bonded, and how do we make those connections with people through shared experience without leaning so hard on that experience, that shared traumatic experience, right? That bleeding together. It can be read in two ways, right? How are we discerning within the deeper self what is meant to be put together? And again, that theme of things that mix and things that can't be unmixed. And sometimes when things mix together, they become something completely different, right? I heard don't drink the Kool-Aid. Wow, because I was thinking about solutions, right? The difference between solutions and mixtures, and is something like dissolvable. Interesting. On the bottom, star-crossed shadow spirit, and it's the dice. And it's like, yeah, this is this a dicey situation, or are you apprehensive about it because you've in the past experienced things that were, I heard, unlucky. So that is a factor to consider always. Go back to the transceptive resonance. Receptive, receive, right? Receive and allow something in. So maybe we're feeling this connection to someone on a psychic level. We're feeling a connection to maybe spirit, our ancestors. Take it how it resonates for you, but there's definitely a deep soul connection here that brings us to a space of feeling like we're centered within. And again, this is like that like congratulations on the graduation from codependency into viewing healthy relationships, how we should view ourselves within these things. And the discernment there, right? Because we have the discernment, the empowered discernment. And this is the roof of like in the old Roman architecture, the domes, right? And they were able to create massive domes by using these types of segmented archways that were slowly graduating into a spherical arch atop, right? And at some of them, there's a hole in the ceiling where the light can shine through. And just like I'm thinking of, there's a lot of places, but we'll just go on. When the light shines through, it shines through on specific spaces, right? And it's a time-telling device. And then again, with that empowered discernment, knowing when the time is right, knowing what is coming up and what the time is past for, right? And being able to use that to your strength here. I was feeling like I should say benefit, and then I pulled back from that. So this is more of an empowerment in strength, and maybe even compassion, and knowing that you're like putting your confidence higher because you have a you know what time it is. Damn, that was a McLovin moment. All right, unfolding path underneath this victorious silence. So in that space, right, and here's the flame, and here's the flame. Look how these colors are going together. So here's the flame, and here's this. It looks like a pathway, right, in that Vesica Pisces. And then here's the flame here, and here's the pathway. It's like that pathway within. And it's got a very feminine feeling to it, masculine or feminine, that whoever you are, it doesn't matter. It's that internal knowing, that internal self, right? And being connected at the base of the Kundalini, at the base chakra, feeling grounded, right? And in the heart space, feeling whole and centered. And that allows us to open up that heart chakra and be completely aware of what's happening within in a peaceful space, right? Deeper self. Look at that. That little light within. It's reminding me of the Never-Ending Story, when she's got that little grain of sand and she's like, it's all that's left of Fantasia. And it can be whatever you would like for it to be. Whatever you could imagine it could be, it will appear and become that, right, in your life. What is that seed within the deeper self, that star shine within, that is illuminating where you would like to be and see yourself along this path. And then the shadow of water leading together, releasing some of those like negative, painful traumas maybe, and yet still being able to incorporate yourself with others, with other situations, scenarios, jobs, humans, right? Situations, all of this. It's like that because they're holding on to it together. What is it? A problem shared is a problem halved, right? And then again, that feeling of like star-crossed, like being enamored with something. Maybe it's being enamored with yourself. It's time to fall in love with that part of yourself. But I don't think it's just you. Now, I told you, I think someone else is also falling in love with you. And it could be falling in love with your work. It could be falling in love with your spirit. Right? It could be falling in love with you in a heart sense, but it's deeper than just a plain old romantic, I keep hearing like Disney relationship, and I keep seeing the Lady and the Tramp eating spaghetti. So it's not just carnal or lusty or even frivolous in any way. This, like I said, this is a soul level, and I think that more so than anyone else exterior to you, you are forming the soul bond with yourself, right? With your past self, with your future self, your higher self, subconscious, conscious, right? Ego, super ego, id. They're all like having a conversation within you right now. And it's lighting that fire within to show you maybe paths unknown within yourself, unfolding, presenting themselves to you. It's going to take me just a second to find some of these because so we have water of water. We're just past it. How do I allow myself to be oh, that's water of shadow. Wow, but that was interesting that I pulled it. It says, how do I allow myself to be ungrounded and directionless? And that's interesting with this unfolding path. We're going to get better at these cards. There was one we already had. We're going to get better at them. Like I said, we just got them, so... And they don't have any letter or like numbers to. So thank you for your patience. Maybe in these spaces in between, we can meditate a little bit on what it is coming to mind. Feel free to share that if you like. Write it down in a journal for yourself. Keep track of your thoughts, because this is a time of great meditation, of great transcendence is available to you. It says, how can I be more open to the people in my life? Exactly. As the flowing feeling of life meets itself, the sense of self both expands and collapses as divisions come and go. Those spaces between, allowing ourselves those interactions with others, not being so closed off. And it feels like, on a very mundane sense in the real world, you're out there walking around talking to other people. You might even be sharing with your friends and stuff, but how deep are you allowing them to enter into your being, right? And I understand the boundaries are completely healthy and natural, right? But there's some times where it's okay to using our discernment, allow people in. Okay. Oh, the empowerment fire of air. Okay, so that's our contemplation for the moment. How are those divisions keeping us separate from others and each other? Empowered discernment. What is my best interest to cut out of my life right now? What is in my best interest to cut out of my life right now? Ooh, and then about the dividing, right? And the divisions that come and go. And it says, as the driving wheel ascends into interconnected intelligence, an informed ability to make one's way is fostered. The more we learn, the more we know, the more we're able to make those changes and to make our way through the world. And again, knowing what time it is, knowing where we're at and what time it is. And that is empowering, and it gives us a truth, right? It gives us a space to base that discernment on, like a control factor, not in the sense of like controlling something, but in like the scientific sense, like the thing that doesn't change, so you can measure other things against it or to it. That's what it means, and that's part of that discernment. Interesting. What is it in my best interest to cut out of my life right now? Sometimes it's not in our best interest to cut out a person or a situation. Sometimes it's in our best interest to cut out a mindset. Sometimes it is in our best interest to cut out a person or a situation. That's where the discernment comes in. I'm going to look up victorious silence. And if you want to get on with it, you can always like tap the little screen twice, and it'll fast forward 10 seconds. So you don't have to sit here through this. But I feel like sometimes it's okay to embrace those spaces in between. And just allow ourselves that quiet for a moment. And that comes at a very apropos time, right? Because it's the dimension, victorious silence, dimensional of the celestial. What can I make better in my life by leaving it alone? As the energies of dimensional expanse embody into celestial realms, they bring with them the reminder of where all celestial bodies exist in the infinite space. Expanding out and coming back to center, that breathing in and out. What can I make better in my life by leaving it alone? Unfolding path. What does the fuel for my fire, where does the fuel for my fire lay? And am I going in that direction? As the earth energies ascend into the driving will, the fuels of will become the indicator of the path to take. What is driving you there? What is your driving force? These paths are unfolding for you. They're showing you the way. They have the momentum, right? Do you have the inertia? My mom calls it inertia sickness. Those who are at rest stay at rest, and those who are in motion stay in motion. So again, that before, and I just saw 1551. So before taking off on an endeavor, it's wise to know which way we're going, right? And that's part of that expansion in that center of self. And again, with the discernment, what are we leaving out? That has also been a theme. And it's because we've got this eclipse season. We've got all of these things happening that are here to evolve us, right? And life is the forever changing, coming and going, breathing, expanding, contracting, right? It's that constant state of flux where the wave goes up and down. So it's best to get comfortable with the wave and embrace the part of us that is part of that all-encompassing, all-expansing, expansing discernment. Knowing which way to go. And the deeper self is here. So for that unfolding path, what that fuel, that fire, what is it that's sparking that desire within you that wants to get you moving? Deeper self. How are my ideas of self keeping me from a more expanded experience? As the dimensional expanse meets itself, that which is beyond, beyond, beyond is apparent, as it is infinitely unknowable. It's like the thing that we can see but we can't name, right? That thing that can be known within us but we can't quite identify it. That is the spirit of self, right? The deeper self, that seed of truth and knowledge here. And that, again, that want to grow, especially when we find that seed of self lying so deeply within. As soon as it gets a little bit of light, it shed on it. As soon as it's get a little bit of water poured on it, right? As soon as those factors come into that space, it triggers growth. It wants to expand. And that is that time within where we are right now, where you are right now. How are my ideas? But I said ideals. So first of all, we have an idea about something, and then we have our ideal, which is like the creme de la creme of the ideas. All right. Are we judging ourselves too harshly? Are you holding yourself up to measures that don't really belong to you? Is that truly where you want to go, or who you want to be, or what you want to be doing with yourself? Is that really truly who you want to be connected to or hanging out with? Or do you really want to be by yourself, or do you want to be connected and hanging out with these people? Is this really an endeavor that you want to go on? It's fueling that fire within, sparking that self, right? Those ideas. Maybe we need to re-examine our ideal situation, right? Shadow of water bleeding together. How do my patterns of human bonding and behavior reinforce my suffering? As the shadow consumes the flowing feeling of life, unhealthy bonding becomes habitual. And again, that thought of, star-crossed lovers, trauma bonding, those types of things that reinforce those behaviors that in truth cause us to suffer. That feeling of, I'm uncomfortable in this situation, so I'm going to make a difference, right? Like, is it more uncomfortable to stay in the situation, or is it more uncomfortable to confront the comfort zone boundary and exceed yourself beyond it? Right? This measure of discomfort. Well, if I stay here, I know I'm uncomfortable in this situation, and I know that it's going to continue on this way. So the amount of time that I stay in this discomfort is determined by the amount of time I stay here. right? In this mindset, in this relationship, in this job, take it how it resonates. You know, how do those things reinforce those ideas? Or is it worth it to discern which way you're going and what time it is, to allow a new path to unfold, go through the discomfort of that boundary change, right? And then see what's beyond it. There could be comfort beyond it. You know for sure there's discomfort in staying. Okay. Very interesting. I do want to get Spirit of Shadow for this star-crossed, because it's the bottom. How can I improve my attitude or perspective in order to change my situation? And that's the overarching energy. As spirit of creativity falls into denial, it creates shadow synchronicities. I'm going to read that again because that's intense. As the spirit of creativity falls into denial, it creates shadow synchronicities. Things that reinforce those negative thoughts. It's those self-fulfilling prophecies, right? And if we tell ourselves positive things and we're on the lookout for positive things, we'll see them, right? They'll come to us. That's the law of attraction, right? That manifestation. What you think about, you bring about. All of those wonderful niche cliches that we say constantly that are affirmations to keep us moving and growing and from forming these habitual mindset behaviors, right? We're trying to rewire our attitudes and our perspectives so that our situations will change. And that's what you're in the process of doing right now. And as the spirit of creativity falls into denial. So we have at 2211, we have this innate calling, this thing that each of our spirits were brought here to manifest on this planet for the betterment of the collective, or for the lessons of the collective. It's time for us to acknowledge that those exist, and that spirit of creativity, that want and will, right, will force itself to create something either way. So is it creating chaos? Is it creating I heard dismantling? I heard some crazy words just now. I'm not going to say. Is that what it's creating? That reinforcement of the denial that's bringing on those negative things? Or are we using our creativity to transcend that, to see something in a different way, to really embrace that power that you're holding, that you were given, that is your birthright? Right? And it's kind of not just all of that to say, it's your responsibility to allow it to grow. And we choose what it is that we're going to bleed together with. Are we going to, like turn into, when you've got like a drop of pink and a drop of blue and they come together and they make a purple, when you got the drop of yellow and the drop of red and they come together and they make the orange, right? What is it that's coming together? All right. Finally, we're going to grab some tarot. If you guys are enjoying this reading, please let me know. This style of reading with these cards, like I said, I just got them. This is the first time. If you don't like it, let me know that too, so that we can make adjustments, because this is for you. We're a small loving community in this together. And I want these bonds in my life. I want you here in my life. I want to be a part of yours. I want to help you grow and prosper. That material progress. It's on the bottom again. That material harvest also comes in the form of the betterment of our bodies, the betterment of our lives, the quality of the life that we're living, right? That's part of the material harvest, the actual everything that's around you, the place where you sit every day, right? And sometimes it's important to, discern what else and what all is there. There's heart chakra or crown chakra on the bottom in the reverse. We talked about that right from the beginning. That telepathic, are we being open, right? And then we get heart chakra and memories of love. That heart space. That heart space. who and what has affected us, who and what has affected us so deeply that we hold a candle for it. And can that candle, even if it's the remembrance of, maybe we had a shitty relationship with somebody back in the day, right? Maybe we're presently in a shitty relationship, and it's that little bit of remember when, or what got us here, or how, what drove us to this space in the first place, that can be the keeper of our sorrow that we can carry around and bleed together into everything else. Or it could be that light within our deeper self that shows us that we were capable of loving that deeply, and we still are. And we are capable of being loved deeply. People love you, you are loved, especially somebody in particular. But I don't know if you are aware of how capable of receiving that love you are. And like I said, it could be from a friend, a family member. It could be a partner, a business partner, right? It could be somebody that shows you that little bit of light within you so that you can go back and sit and re-examine that for yourself, so those paths can unfold. Do you have any more messages from Spirit, or from Tarot Spirit? Would you? Patience and planning and sacral chakra. Patience in the reverse on the bottom, and patience and planning. Okay. Don't lose your patience with yourself. It's important. It's important to set those steady foundations in, those firm foundations in. This is the Seven of Pentacles. And it does talk about the investments that you've already made. Things you've already set into motion, seeds you've already planted, right? And the sacral chakra, again, with that creation. Are we allowing those things to come to fruition in their own time? However long it takes that seed to blossom, to push itself through the dirt and come out and reach the sun on its own. That's what's happening in this situation. And it's like, don't go out and pull on those before they're ready. Remember what time it is. Losing the patience is really, could be what's turning that force of will into creative destruction, creative chaos, right? And we have the second chakra, the sacral chakra. The power of creation is within you. And again, I'm drawn to this light. So please remain patient with yourself. Please remain patient with the situation. Right? We'll get a couple more clarifiers since we got the Golden Tarot out. Talk about these. I just want to ask specifically about this transceptive resonance, and maybe who like this. There we go. It's funny, Temperance on the bottom again. And I was trying to come out. Sagittarius energy in the reverse. Like if it could be attracting bad luck by maintaining these negative patterns that reinforce suffering behavior. Can you tell me about this transceptive resonance? Who, what? Four of Cups. Guys, not being open to it. Looking at those 3 cups in front of you, Spirit is trying to hand you a new cup, is trying to serve you with love. But you have to be open to it. Not bored and apathetic with the things that are in front of you. Go seek more. More is on offer to you. Okay? It's like, I'll just show you them together. Let me in. And again, the Vesca Pisces. Right? The Vesca Pisces is like the, I should say like the smallest, but it's like the 2-dimensional shape with the fewest corners. It's just 2 together, right? And it's got that very feminine connotation to it, allowing somebody in. Okay? Take that how it resonates. Be safe with yourself, always with love. But I think that maybe because those types of relationships were interest to you in some way. And so now there's this, like, I'm kind of bored with that idea of her simpatico friendship. Damn, you gotta let people in, you know? Tell me about this empowerment. Tell me about this empowered discernment, please. King of Coins now. That High Priestess in the reverse. Sharing things that shouldn't be shared, first of all, is what's coming across. And not following the intuition. That those things are pulling away from the confidence that you would build in yourself, right? Because we're being kind of not discerning things properly, maybe because we're being impatient, right? Or trying to force something ahead, or maybe because you're not wanting to be open to it, right? And all of that is not the best use of your discernment. Here we have fire of air, empowered discernment with the King of Coins. Steadfast, reliable. This person is coming in. It's either you or them, but look at how they've got all of these things. They've learning tools, creation tools, scissors, paper, you know, all of these things that they're using that he uses to plan. I see King of Pentacles, take out, resonates. It could actually be this person who's he's in the upright, who's trying to make a connection with you, right? Who's trying to show you the way. This is the embodiment that you need to stand in right now. Man or woman, doesn't matter how old you are, masculine, feminine, whoever you are. Taking slow, steady actions that are reliable, dependable, steady, and abundant. He gets a reciprocation for the value of his expenditure. Talk about it in an economic sense. Knowing what to invest in and what not to invest in. Knowing where to hold and where to move, right? When to buy, when to sell. These kinds of things. They're his forte. And it's like he's showing you. He wants you to see where the value is. He's holding this coin. He wants to show you the value of yourself and something. It's okay. And patience, because he is a very, very, very slow moving character. Let's move this over here. Just like me today. Just like us. Victorious silence. The dimension of the celestial spirit. Victorious silence. Wow. Judgment. Damn. What's on the bottom for it? The Chariot. Again, head and heart decision, victorious decision, re-examination of all of the things. And some things, you know, like, say you're going through your old sock drawer, right? Some of those socks, you know, have holes in them. Some of those socks, you'll know, you have to say goodbye. You'll never find the match. It's gone. It's in the ether. It's probably in like the base of your washing machine somewhere. All right. Some of those things, it's okay to let them go, right? There's a time and a place, but then there's other things like, I'm going to need those socks when it's cold outside. I'm going to need that pair of socks when I wear my dress shoes. Those kinds of things. I know that sounds menial and mundane, but that's what's coming across right now. You know, like the re-examining things and maybe not having to take a whole lot of time with some of them. You're like, oh, that's still within me. Oh, this situation is still hanging around. Oh, this thing is coming back. Do I really need that? You know, do I need to re-up that subscription in that internal digest that keeps telling me the same stories I've read before within myself? Is that what that's kind of what's happening here? And what it does is it realigns your head and your heart on the same page. It gets you moving in a direction truly victorious. Under that's the star. What? Victorious silence. And you get the victory cards. Winning. Absolutely. And it's because of the discernment that you're using when making this judgment. Unfolding path, please. Fire of what? Earth of fire. Unfolding path. Knight of Wands. Get moving. Earth of fire. Here's the fire. Here's the earth. Ace of Coins, baby. Ace of Coins. The discernment of this offer that's coming to you, this very tangible offer from somebody who's very reliable and responsible. You're going within, you're using your discernment, you're making a judgment call, right? And you're winning. And it allows you to get moving forward with that Chariot card, Knight of Wands. Here you go. Giving you that tangible thing, that offer that's coming through. That's what's unfolding because you are allowing yourself to be open with it. And it is invigorating. Here it goes. Fueling that power of will, that fire of will towards something that is beneficially creative, something that is abundant and beautiful, something that is driven and created from the deeper self. Tell us about the deeper self. It's like what your soul path is here to do. Sometimes I could just cry. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. The Fool. Zeroed out. Brand new. You talk about star-crossed and taking a leap of faith. Here you are. Here you are. I've never done this before, he says. I've never been there before, she says. I've never seen that. What is that? It's the new. It's the new you. It's that new beginning. It's that thing that you're willing to take the risk on. 9 of Pentacles underneath. You talk about the deeper self. You can rely on yourself. When you really look and take a deep inventory of the self, right? And letting go of those patterns and judgments that reinforce that suffering behavior, you realize how much value you have accrued and accumulated within the self. In the real. Could be your tangible things, right? We talk about taking care of our bodies, taking care of ourselves, right? The real. But what this is your ability to create more sustainable abundance. This is on offer to you right now when you're really looking at it and you're like, man, am I open to this new? I think you are. Turn around and look at it. I mean, you start with the 4 of Cups and now you get the Fool and the 9 of Pentacles. What are you receptive to? Are you receptive to the fear? Or are you receptive to the joy, to the excitement, to the potential and the possibilities? Are you receptive to the accountability and the responsibility it's going to take from you to get there? I'm not talking about anybody else. I'm talking about the boss that wants to make sure that you got that TPS report on his desk by Monday morning. I'm talking about the self-care and self-reliance and responsibility that you've accumulated up to this point. Okay, that's being responsible to yourself, and I'm proud of you. Because you've really come a long way. If you were here listening to this is resonating and you've gotten this far in this reading, damn, you've come a long way. And I am really proud of you. That is not easy. And of course you're guarding it because you want to maintain this within yourself, this growth, right? Even if everything on the outside is sketchy or weird, or you are knowing which way to trust, you can't see which way to go. Look within because you've gotten yourself this far. And don't run out and tug at the roots before they're ready. Use those seeds, be patient, planting with them, and being careful of what we're integrating with them. Right? What we're integrating into that. Can you tell us about this Shadow of Water, this bleeding together, please? We got 2 for that. Wow, Page of Wands. It is about like this breaking of a commitment or going against something or somebody breaking the rules, right? Somebody very stubborn and you had to heal from that. And you're getting like news about a healing from that, right? 4 of Swords, taking that time out, allowing the healing to occur. Right? And making that announcement. Maybe, hey guys, I'm ready. Or hey, I need a little bit more time. Right? Maybe you need to integrate the news of that or the lesson taught. Wow. And then the 8 of Coins is under that about the work. The Hanged Man under that about the patience. Again, slow moving energy, but it lights a fire within that makes you excited again. Right? It's like get up out of bed. You can stay there while all of these things seep into every fiber in the blanket that's covering you. Or you can get out in the world and start a new path. Allow that, you spend all this time dealing with all this stuff, intellectualizing it, going over it, looking over it 1,000 times. What do we do? And then the hesitancy to implement it without the contamination of the old thing. It's just mind-blowing to me about human behavior. We all do it. That's what we do. That's what the challenge is. That's how we know we grew, right? We got over that. And so you're here and you're doing this. And when the offer comes in, know that you are worthy. Okay? And be mindful. Be discerning. Spirit, would you give us any details about this? Anything further that you would like us to know about this? Peacock! Beware of great pride. And that judgment. Is your pride keeping you from being open, right? It's good to be proud of yourself. I'm proud of you. I just said I'm proud of you. Beware of great pride, right? Arrogance or hubris, or that coming from others too. You know, it wants to sit right here on this victorious silence. Are you kidding me? Victory in some endeavor. So much winning. But at the same time, there is disappointment in a friend or lover. That hurtful commitment. That hurtful, I heard, lie. That you had to heal from and rest from. And it kind of, it's like, it's forced itself into the foundations of your foundational self. And the question is, are those fissures that are causing potential chaos? Or are those like the rebar that's like reinforcing the structure? So you've learned from those things, but they're no longer like permeable. It's not getting into everything. Torch, spiritual development, enlightenment, awareness, and understanding. Let's get a couple more. Spirit, any more details? Any more details you'd like us to know? Handshake meeting with a stranger that could be important. October. Okay? Could be coming up in October. This could be something that happened in October that was like a breaking of a commitment of something that maybe happened at the workspace. Take it as it resonates. Or it could be something that you put a lot of work and effort into. And it's what's carrying through, right? That commitment that was made doesn't have to necessarily have been last October, right? Could have been 10 Octobers ago. Could have been 8 Octobers ago. It's about this thing. And it could also be talking about in the future, this coming October. Because remember, this stuff is moving very slowly. And I know that we would, of course, like for it to move faster. I have a ton of fire in my chart. I don't want to wait either. Okay? But it's worth it. It's worth it. On the bottom, dark-haired man, dealings or relationship with a man with dark hair or dark complexion. Could be this King of Pentacles energy. Could be this non-committal energy. It could be you. Take it how it resonates for you. But that energy is significant to you in this situation somehow. All right. I feel like we need to close out. I'm going to get a Kuan Yin, and then I was looking at the runes, and I'm like, should we get a rune? No. Kuan Yin, because this was the deep spiritual dive here into the self, and so we need a little bit of gentle feminine mothering, right? To put us back into that space where the creative self is creating abundance. Say, I am creating abundance. Say it with me. I am creating beauty. I am creating peace within. Beautiful. Kuan Yin, spirit, ancestors. What would you like to tell the collective? Sisters of the Sun Rising, number 28. And then it just basically opened almost right there. So right in line. Ready? You are a highly creative being with the potential to help raise the vibration of consciousness on this planet through your creative projects, works, dreams, and hobbies. The power of collaboration, choosing to work with others in joint projects, allows for synergy to occur where you can grow stronger and become more than the sum of your individual parts. Calling in great cosmic assistance and potency, you are guided to remain open to other souls joining forces with you. Thank you, Spirit. Just like the Sisters of the Sun Rising that bring great energy to help humanity through their group endeavors, when you allow for aligned group effort, much that is wonderful can occur. It is an important part of the spiritual journey to learn who you are and how you work, and often solitary work is a helpful way to do this. Yet there are times when you are strong enough to work with others without losing yourself or your unique approach to creative endeavors. Collaboration is suggested for you now to allow you to expand your horizons, to meet more people, share your light, and have more fun. Your collaborations may be with spiritual guides or with souls incarnated and coming into your life in forms of colleagues, friends, and helpers now. Trust your instincts and be discerning in what you accept and what you let pass by you. There will be plenty of opportunities for you as you are open to them, but do trust yourself enough to take the leap and some risks that feel uplifting for you in reaching out or in accepting the offers to work together. This message is so loud. Thank you, Spirit. Sisters of the rising sun, know that light can grow strong when souls join together in creative endeavors, allowing different flavors of the divine to come through each project, making it richer than it would be if it was just one flavor alone. This oracle is also guidance to remain true to yourself in collaborative efforts. You may be struggling between compromise and staying true to who you are and how you work. You don't need to compromise. You need to honor your boundaries and the boundaries of others, and trust that when you are meant to work together, you will find a way not to compete, but to complete and perhaps also complement each other so you can all shine together. The Sisters of the Rising Sun are calling you to find ways not to diminish yourself in collaboration with others, but to dare to become more of yourselves together. If you have pulled this card together with the Sisters of the Star Blossoms, there is a special encouragement to collaborate with others in a group situation or to collaborate on projects involving groups of people. You will receive spiritual support on these endeavors. We do have star-crossed. We do have that. This oracle also indicates that any relationship you have right now, there is healing taking place. And if you look for the win-win solution, no matter how tricky it might seem to find that wisdom at first, it is there to be found. You will have successfully collaborated as souls finding healing. Well done. Now for the meditation. Sit with your journal. Wow. Sit with your journal and write a letter to any person that you have had a collaborative relationship with that feels unsatisfying, unfulfilling, disappointing, or incomplete. In your letter, express yourself, and at the end of the letter, express your intention to let go so that you are both free. Offer forgiveness, and when you are ready, read the letter aloud and then burn it and scatter the ashes carefully in the earth, checking thoroughly first that they are fully extinguished. Then sit down and write a letter to those you are currently working with or would like to work with. That they might be musicians, artists, writers, healers, publishers, agents, promoters, accountants, or actors, or anyone else you can think of. The possibilities are vast. Write a letter about what kind of collaboration you might like to attract and what outcomes you'd like. Imagine it like a heavenly advertisement with the Sisters of the Sun Rising, a glorious gathering of community effort, shining their love and support to your words. When feeling happy with what you have specified, read it aloud and then fold it up and place it somewhere sacred, perhaps in your journal, in your meditation space, or under a crystal in the garden. Give thanks for the guidance that led you to do this so that you will be ready to receive. Now the prayer. Beloved Sisters of the Sun Rising, sweet Sister Kuan Yin, Thank you for your help now in opening my heart fearlessly with confidence, faith, friendliness, firm boundaries, and an open mind to be inspired, supported, and helped in making successful creative collaborations. May all relationships be blessed in my life now. Om Mani Padme Hum. So many things were said in the reading of that card that were said in the reading of these cards. Write it down if you need to. Make a list, make peace with it, right? Be discerning and be open to the collaborations with others, because someone wants to offer you something quite tangible, right? And be patient with it so that those things that don't need to be integrated into the fabric of its being aren't. So we don't have to wash them out, or it isn't stained, that it's pure, right? The new. Victory is on its way for you. This is beautiful. I'm so happy. I hope that was helpful. I hope that you got something out of it. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for remembering to hit like and subscribe. And thank you for coming back and seeing us again next time. Bye.
Transformation in 3, 2, 1.